Yes, hello again and welcome along to another Sydney FC pre-game show live on the club's Facebook page and on the YouTube channel today. No, this is not a ZZ Top reunion. We're setting a bit of a trend with all these pre-game shows. Lots of clubs around the A-League doing them, which is fantastic to see. I'm Simon Hill, and as you can see alongside me again tonight is Sky Blues legend Alex Brosque. Good to see you, Brosque. We're still comparing beards. I think you're still winning, just.
Maybe only
in terms of the colour anyway. Sydney FC, of course, since we last met, have clinched the Premiership, fourth Premiership overall, which is fantastic. They topped 50 points, Brosque, for the fourth season in a row, which in a salary cap league is remarkable, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think any club around the world, especially here in Australia, when you do have a salary cap, I think that the main thing everyone strives for is consistency. So for Sydney to have done that for 4 years now running is incredible. And to be honest, with the squad they have, I can't see that stopping anytime soon, which is good.
They got a tough game today, of course, against Melbourne City, who are nominally the home team here at ANZ Stadium. Beautiful weather conditions. We've got blue sky overhead. But let's talk about that Premiership. And in terms of history, Brosque, we look at the comparison. We've got a little list compiled here. Sydney FC now joint second in the all-time list. They're level on 4 premierships with the Melbourne Knights and Perth Glory. Top of the shop, Sydney City. Back in the days, a bit different things used to work in the early days of the NSL. First past the post, and they won a couple of Northern Division premierships as well. But Sydney FC right up on the cusp of those history makers, which is fantastic.
It is good to see. I mean, you'd think eventually, all those records will be passed by an A-League squad, and I think it's good that Sydney's right up there at the moment. Given the success and recent success that the club's had, and like I said, with the squad that they've got, it seems like it will continue, and they'll be on top of that pretty soon.
Pity that they couldn't win the Premiership actually on the pitch. Of course, they had that opportunity against the Newcastle Jets and slipped up late on, which was a disappointment to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I tipped them to win 3-0, so I think just don't ask for my tip today and we'll be all right.
That comes later.
Look, they got there in the end, which was obviously thanks to Wellington, but look, it was never in doubt. It was just a matter of time. It would have been nice to do it in front of the fans and get the trophy, but they'll get that opportunity next home game anyway.
Indeed they will, and of course it means that the Sky Blues qualify for the Asian Champions League as well for the 4th consecutive season, which is another terrific achievement. Talking of achievements, there's a few today. Alex Wilkinson, in winning that Premiership, Brosque, has now won 5 Premiership titles, which is more than any other player in either A-League or National League history. And he's ahead of some pretty big names: Franny Waratifi, Josip Biskic, Fausto De Amici, Andrew Marth, Damien Mori, Tommy Pondelyak, Andrew Redmayne, Seb Ryle, Mark Silic, Matt Simon, Michael Theo, and he's the top of the shop.
Which is, it's good to see. I mean, no one sort of deserves it more than a guy like Wilco. I've known him for many years now, and such a good guy. And when you see records and players at the top, you want them to be great blokes as well, and Wilco's definitely one of them. So
you can add to that, of course, the championships he's won, and of course a couple of K-League titles during his days with John Book Motors in South Korea as well. Let's talk a bit more about Wilco on the pitch, Brosque. A natural choice as successor to you when you retired as captain?
Yeah, very easy one. He helped out a lot while I was there, so I think for him to take over was always, like you said, very natural and easy, and he's led his teams before in the past, so for him to step up into that role and the way he's doing it is no surprise.
Get a bit of grief from the boys behind as well.
That was always expected with Dave setting us up right here.
Wilco, of course, he made his international debut. This is remarkable, isn't it? At 29. I mean, normally you make your debut for your national team in your early 20s, but he had to wait a long time. Played at a World Cup, played at the Asian Cup, and the thing that I always notice about Wilco is he rarely gets booked. And for a centre-back, I mean, that's remarkable. The stats are 5 bookings in 4 seasons. Really? Which for a centre-back is amazing, isn't it?
I get that in 1 year. That's for a centre-back, absolutely. That's very, very incredible. But again, that's just him. Like he's all about timing and positioning, and he won't put a foot wrong in the game. He rarely makes a late tackle, and yeah, like you said, with him, coming into the national team just so late, I think just his professionalism year on year is the reason he was able to do that. So such a great guy, great professional, and good to see him breaking all these records.
Shows how well he reads the game, that record of bookings. Another milestone tonight for Sydney FC as a club It is their 400th game in the A-League tonight, and they've got a good record in these milestone matches. Games 100, 200 and 300. They've all won, so maybe a good omen for tonight's match against Melbourne City. Let's take a little trip down memory lane now, starting with that 100th game, which was the Sky Blues against the Central Coast Mariners. The two skippers, strangely enough, Alex Wilkinson for the Mariners and Steve Corica for
Corica leading out the Sky Blues, Alex Wilkinson leading out the Mariners. Two survivors from the grand final of season 1. Keeps possession, now Miura. Cross trying to get the run just right in the hand. It's a wonderful header, an absolutely wonderful header. Terry McFlynn celebrates his return with a goal. The father, the new father, a magic moment. A wonderful goal from Terry McFlynn.
Just 7 matches to go. Points are at a premium, and today's game could have the tense feel of one of those late season European affairs. The only difference being here, the clocks look nervously up instead of down. Drops for Tal. That's Franich who lost his bearings. Del Piero, danger here for Brisbane. Del Piero! Fabulous finish! Only a slight mistake by the Brisbane Roar defence, but that was enough. Del Piero makes them pay cash. On the left-hand side, clips it in, good ball. With a break here for Triantis to drill it. Triantis! Great finish! His first goal for Sydney FC, and the Sky Blues are in front. He drilled it with real conviction. Celebration time in the Cove. 2-1 Sydney. The Jets try and wrestle control of the midfield area back. Maybe that's why Poliak's been brought on. Ninkovic has the ball on a string. That is a gorgeous goal. Right out of the top drawer by Milos Ninkovic. The twinkle-toed Serbian picked his way through the Jets' defence, and Sydney FC lead. This is Abini. Oh, and he's wriggled clear somehow. Bernie Abini goes for the shot and the follow-up, and it's squeezed in. Bernie Abini scores his first goal in his second spell with Sydney FC, and surely Graham Arnold's team have the points now.
Yeah, some great memories there of those milestone matches. Alex Brosque was involved in one or two of those. I think you even scored a couple of goals in those games.
Maybe
Brosque.
I didn't get to see the footage, but
Yeah.
I hope I did.
No, you did. But I mean, these milestone games are important, aren't they? When you consider that the A-League is still a relatively new league, it's all about building that history.
Of course, that's the one thing I think when you look across the codes that we probably don't have as much of. You know, every other code has, you know, I think rugby league, AFL up to 100 years of history, and we're slowly getting there. You know, it'll take a bit of time, but you can see it in the crowd. You see it at schools with kids wearing the jerseys, whereas, you know, 10 years ago that wasn't happening. So it is slowly starting to come in a lot more, which is good to see. And yeah, I think the milestones are always good for clubs to pass.
Well, these two clubs have a little bit of history between them as well, of course. Sydney FC and Melbourne City, in their most recent meeting, which was at Jubilee Stadium back in December, was a top-of-the-table clash, as it is today. The Premier's plate then was very much up for grabs. A great atmosphere that particular night, and a fair bit of drama on the pitch as well.
Corner routine, and Metcalf opens the scoring for Melbourne City, who won that corner. Oh, sliding in. Oh, Grant studs up, in trouble, yellow card.
The first one he slides in, he gets up, he sees the ball, and that one's high.
Yep, he's going to come over and have a look himself, and Sydney FC, after falling behind, could be down to 10. And he's going to be sent off for the first time in his A-League career. The young man delivers, Glover comes, brings it down. Oh, what a clearance. Delbridge still alive here. Oh, it's in, and they equalise with 10 men. Adam Lafondra thumps home his 12th of the season. Ninkovic running rings around Metcalf, kept on going. Milos Ninkovic wins a penalty. Adam Lafondra for the payoff. Oh, great save by Glover. So often he goes right down the middle with power, and Glover left a leg there and made a super save. Too easy the way they've worked this. Barbarouses to win it! Sydney FC! They're perfect about the celebration from Steve Corica. He knows this is massive. Sydney FC go 9 points clear at the top of the A-League ladder.
Yeah, such a big win that for Sydney FC. Up against it as well, of course, playing for 65 minutes with 10 men after the sending off of Ryan Grant and missing a penalty as well. Do you think tonight, Brosque, that Melbourne City might still hold a few of the mental scars from that particular encounter?
Look, probably not. I think every game is different, but I think just in saying that, just the fact that Sydney have such a good record over them in probably the last 10 games. I think Sydney have won 9 out of 10, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that more than just the last game, but the last game definitely would have hurt them. I think playing, close to 65 minutes with a man down, and the way that Sydney came back to win, that for me was incredible. That was the best game that I think that I've seen Sydney play this year. I remember being at the ground and just the stadium, the atmosphere. When Sydney scored that winning goal was electric. So I think there'll be a little bit of that maybe, but I think it's more just the recent history that'll be playing on Melbourne City's mind.
Obviously it won't be quite as electric tonight. We're at an empty ANZ Stadium, but thankfully the weather is good, which is something. Let's bring you the team news. Sydney FC's lineup is as follows. Andrew Redmayne in goal, Paolo Retre at right back, Ryan McGowan and Alex Wilkinson in the centre as per. Joel King will start on the left in place of Michael Zullo. It's Anthony Caceres and Luke Bratton in the middle, and then Alexander Bam-Johan and Milos Ninkovic slightly wider, and of course the front two of Adam Lafondra and Costa Barbarouses. Melbourne City, Tom Glover in goal, Harrison Delbridge is at right back, Richard Vindbickler, which is interesting, will partner Curtis Goods in the centre. Scott Jamieson, ex-Sydney FC, will captain the team on the left. A midfield three of Adrian Luna, Josh Belante and Florent Berenguer, and then a front three of Lockie Wales, Jamie Mclaren, their top scorer of course, and Craig Noon. And talking of Craig Noon, I wonder if that's why Steve Corica has gone for Paolo Retre in that right fullback role today. Let's hear from the Sydney FC Supremo. He's now talking with Dave Warriner.
Well, Steve, congratulations on winning the Premier's Plate, but back to business now. What's expected from the team going into this one?
Yeah, it's fantastic. The boys have wrapped up the premierships with 4 games to go, but it's business as normal. Like you said, it's another game. We're playing a very good team in Melbourne City, looking to obviously get second spot in the league, and it's their first game for quite a while now, since Corona, and we're looking forward to a good game, good performance, and a win, of course. We go into every game trying to win, and it's no different.
You've had to make one change with Ryan Grant at right back, having a little groin injury. Avoid there.
Yeah, we options during the week. An option, Harry and Retre as well. So I've decided on Retre. He's been wonderful in midfield this season, and we'll just test him out at right back for a game or two, and until Rhino gets back, and we'll move on from there.
It's a fairly strong team. Having had 10 days off, is the plan to potentially rest a few after this?
Well, yeah, we got 4 games in 15 days, so it's a quick turnaround to the next couple of games. So there will be a little rotation going on for the Adelaide and Brisbane game. Give some young boys an opportunity, gives players an opportunity to make their stake for the finals as well, which is what we want. Good competition for places leading into the finals.
And of course, it's your first game coaching here at ANZ Stadium. What do you expect the surface and the lack of crowd to bring today?
Yeah, obviously the no crowd won't be great, but I'm pretty sure the surface will be good. It doesn't look like there's been many games on it recently, so I'm looking forward to a good surface and looking forward to a good game and a good performance from our boys.
Best of luck, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, Steve Corica in conversation with Dave Warriner. Start of a very busy period for the Sky Blues, 4 games in 15 days. So I guess we are going to see some rotation in the squad, Brosque. He's gone for Paolo Retre, as we mentioned, at right back. Do you think that's to counter the threat of Craig Noon, a little bit more experience perhaps than Harry van der Sarg?
Possibly, yeah. I think Harry will get a bit of time there, possibly. But I think, look, Paolo's just such a versatile player, can play anywhere and play it very well. So I think with the threat that Noon poses, definitely having someone like Retre there and the experience that he has can counter that. So I think you're right. I think that's why he's gone for him there.
Okay, well, of course, the normal right back, there's no doubt as to who that is, and that's Ryan Grant. But As you also no doubt know, he came off injured in the Newcastle Jets game with a groin problem. I caught up with Ryan a little bit earlier on and asked him, first of all, about how that injury was progressing. Well, Ryan, missing out today, obviously due to injury. What's the latest situation with your groin problem?
Yeah, obviously missing out today, which is unfortunate, but the groin, just a little minor tear in there, so nothing dramatic. Should be right for either next game or the one after. Depends how it pulls up this week as I go through training, but honestly can't feel it at the minute, so could be out there tonight.
I'm guessing that with the finals just around the corner, there might be precaution in leaving you out until those big end-of-season games.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing now, is the finals are the most important, and as a player I want to play those games, so to look after the groin now at the moment to make sure I'm ready come finals is the biggest thing. So yeah, maybe another couple of weeks and good to go.
Of course, the corresponding fixture between these two teams earlier on in the season, it wasn't the happiest evening for you, even though it was ultimately for the team.
Yeah, obviously not a great game for me personally. The boys obviously did really well. We were goal down and then 10 men, and then to come back and beat, I think City, who were coming second at the time too, top of the table clash, was a great result for the boys. But yeah, on a personal level, it wasn't a great game, being sent off and yeah, not doing a very nice tackle on my behalf. But the boys, yeah, did me proud after that and really saved my bum, I suppose, there.
And Melbourne City, of course, have not played since the break for COVID. This is their first game back. Do you think that'll have an impact tonight?
It could go either way. They could be a bit rusty or they could be really eager. So I think the boys all week, Bimby's sort of got us on our toes. Obviously we didn't play great last week, so we want to bounce back from that. And then, like I said, the Melbourne City boys might be very eager and come out of the blocks sharp. So we're going to be prepared for that. And we definitely are. We've had a good week training now, so I think the boys will be raring to go tonight.
Well, wish you well on your return from injury, and congratulations on the Premiership, of course. Hope to see you back in action again soon, Ryan.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see Ryan Grant back in action pretty soon, maybe for the finals, maybe even sooner, who knows. Brosque, let's talk about the other end of the pitch, which you're probably more familiar with, and the battle for the Golden Boots. And two players who are leading the way are featuring both tonight, Adam Le Fondre and Jamie Mclaren, both on 18 goals each. What do you like about both these players?
Look, to be honest, I think when you compare them, I think they're quite similar. Alfie's probably got a bit more size, but they're both just so willing to put their bodies on the line and chase those balls that not many other players would. They run out the corner flag to get possession, bring players into play, and more importantly, they're just great goal scorers. They know how to find the net, and there's not many players like them. I mean, the fact they both got 18 goals is phenomenal.
Yep, indeed. You look at the stats for Adam Le Fondre. 51 games, 36 goals in the A-League, and I don't know if you saw something that he put up on his social media account. He's one of the top 10 goal scorers, English goal scorers of all time. I mean, he's ahead of people like Harry Kane.
Wow, it's incredible. And look, again,
all national leagues, of course.
Yeah, which is fine. I think no surprise. Like I said, the guy's just such a great goal scorer, and we saw that from when he first got here in pre-season. He came in to replace Bobo, and obviously Bobo had an incredible season, but he just came in unfazed and just loves to score goals. So a player like him, very, very rare.
Jamie Mclaren's stats aren't bad either in the A-League. 120 matches and 74 goals, 18 of them, as mentioned, for Melbourne City this season. He's the birthday boy as well this week, the Melbourne City number 9. Not that he wears number 9. Let's hear from him now.
Yeah, you know what, as I get older, and obviously turning 27 today is a feeling as if, I'm starting to be a bit more collective. I've won the Golden Boot before, and although it would be nice, I think, Alfie would say winning a championship is better than winning a Golden Boot. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to win some sort of silverware with this club because, for one, they want to win championships, and I haven't won a championship myself. So that's our main goal, and anything along the way, whether it's a Golden Boot or other sort of individual awards, you'll take. But the big goal is the real one, and that's what we're aiming towards. You want to play against the best. You want to face against the tough oppositions, and they are clear leaders and clear premiers of this season. So, if someone said to me, you've only got one game to play, who do you want to play against? I would say Sydney, because you want to test yourself against the best. And I think, given the fact that we'll be playing in a final series this year, you're going to have one-off games against very, very good teams. And, you know, like I said, Sydney FC is the perfect time to play them, and they've got some games under their belt, and we can't make an excuse that we haven't played games. We need to go, you know, really hard on Saturday and really get that match fitness, because we've got 2 more games and then we're straight into a final series. So we need to be really hitting our straps from the first half onwards.
Yeah, Melbourne City's leading scorer, Jamie Mclaren, he will be a big threat to the Sky Blues tonight. Interested, Brosque, in your take on Melbourne City's season overall so far. They've always been there or thereabouts the last 4 or 5 seasons, but never actually won a grand final spot. They did win that one FFA Cup, and of course they got to the cup final this year, but fell in a heap, were beaten pretty soundly by Adelaide United by 4-0. The big question mark against City has always been, do they have that mental fortitude to go all the way? Do you see that they've changed that in any way this season?
I feel like at times this year, when that's been asked of them, they've lost a few games that they were expected to win. I've seen that they've bounced back, you know, under pressure. So I feel like this year they've been handling the pressure a lot better than they have in previous years. And look, the top 2 is still open and very, very much up for grabs. I think it's with Wellington there and so close, this is a massive game, not just for where they finish in the top 2 race, but also going into the finals. They may find Sydney FC again, and they'll want to put in a good show and try and get a result out of tonight to have confidence for that next one.
This is a huge game for City because, of course, as well, it is their first game back since the long hiatus due to COVID-19. One of the key battles tonight, as it always is in a game of football, is probably going to be in the midfield area. And strangely enough, 2 key protagonists are going to be Josh Berlante and Luke Bratton, who've both played for the other side and now lining up for City in the case of Josh Berlante, and for Sydney for Luke Bratton. This might be a tough question for you, but who got the better deal out of that swap? Not that it was a straight swap, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, look, I think just 2 totally different players. I think Josh is all, you know, work rate and hunger and aggression, and knows how to break up play, and he's all over the field and can, you know, pipe up with a goal or 2 as well, a spectacular goal, whereas Bratton's got more finesse, he's got a great passing game, and he's always after the ball, you know, he always wants to get on the ball. So both completely different, but both just as good in my opinion. I've never played with Bratsy before, but from what the boys told me, and obviously from what I see, incredible player, and he's having an incredible season. But Josh as well, for me, was such a great midfielder, so it will be a massive battle tonight.
So many players on show tonight who've actually played for the opposition. Andrew Redmayne, of course, Pala Retre, Bratton, as we've mentioned, excuse me, Alex Wilkinson, Michael Zullo, who's not actually part of the starting 11, Anthony Caceres, all ex-Melbourne City, and Scott Jamieson and Josh Berlante, of course, both ex-Sydney FC as well. We're not too far away from kickoff, and we're going to get to some of your Twitter questions. We always like to hear from you before we get a prediction from Brosque. The first one, Alex, from Matt. Where on the park will this be won or lost tonight? We sort of covered some of the key areas, but maybe give us a slightly different perspective as to where it might be won or lost tonight.
Look, I think, to be honest, it'll be who's most clinical. I think that midfield battle is a massive one, and out wide for both teams. Both teams like to get forward using the flanks, but I think just whoever is most clinical tonight, you know, and I think a lot will come down to not only Alfie and Macca on the opposite end, but I think the other players as well. I think someone like Ninko has the ability to win you a game, so I think that could be the difference.
Okay, this is a good one from Christy. ANZ Stadium is your favourite hunting ground. You scored a few goals here, 4 goals in 6. What's the secret to playing here? Is it just one of those grounds for you that you just seem to do well at? Or?
I think I've played the Wanderers a few times, so
yeah.
That's a secret for me. No, look, I think it's just such a nice ground, and generally when we've played here, there's been a great atmosphere, and you know, players always lift when in big games and big crowds. So I think that just could be it.
Okay, and final one from Alex, to Alex. Who's got the most stylish head coach, Sydney or Melbourne City? Yeah, you got to be careful here.
No, look, I do have to be careful, but I think Stevie. I think Stevie's all about, he's got a good look about him, and I think he enjoys looking good for the game, so I'll give it to him.
All right. Who's the prediction tonight for you? I expect you're going to say Sydney FC.
Yeah. No, I think, like I said, they've had good recent history over them. I think that last game was a big game, and heading into the finals after a loss, Sydney will bounce back, so I'm going to go 2-1 Sydney.
All right, we shall see if you're right. That's it for our preview show. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget you can watch the game live, Fox Sports Channel 507, or on KO, or indeed on the MyFootball app. We'll be back for another pre-game show for the game against Adelaide United. We're going to leave you now with some highlights of past encounters between Sydney and Melbourne City, and there might just be one or two Alex Brosque goals in there as well. Thanks, Brosque.
No worries, thank you.
Enjoy the game. See you again soon.
Bobo. Well, the keeper got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out. And Sydney FC down to 10 men, find an equaliser. Bobo right into the bottom corner. And it is Brandon O'Neill placing it to perfection. What a ball, Bobo!
Bouncing ball, it's awkward though, and now Sydney FC have broken through, and it's their captain, Alex Brosque. Zullo across the face, and stabbed in. Carney, far post is Bobo, it's 3. And it's a brace for the Brazilian. And they're in behind here, Alex Brosque, and there's the goal for Sydney FC, the equaliser. On debut, it's Philip Holosco with the tap-in. Sydney FC, Gamero trying to stay outside and curling it, what a goal! Corey Gamero, who's been on fire in pre-season.
Benito delivers, and Janko puts Sydney FC in front on Redmayne, and poke it home for number 2, Marc Janko. Space once more to deliver first time. Wilkshire, draft breaker.
Crucial moment potentially. Mirzievski, yes, what a goal! And Bobo makes no mistake. Slicing here for Brosque, that'll do it. What a finish by the captain. Might be the last kick of the game. In it goes, off the woodwork via the goalkeeper. It's here for City, Ninkovic, it's 2! What a finish by Milos Ninkovic. Zullo, good ball in Bobo, it's 3! Could be game over. Zullo, Mirzievski, it's 4. Tidy finish by Adrian Mirzievski. And Melbourne City have been flattened on their own patch.